What is new in sports? This is recent news. Cassie announces changes to 2021 baseball, men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse championships. Meyer scores 4, Bova has hat trick, but men's lacrosse falls to Dominican. Men's lacrosse leads at half, but falls to Caldwell. Eild, Casiliano make Cassie weekly honor roll. Eild has hat trick, but men's lacrosse falls to Georgian Court. Eild scores 5 times, but men's lacrosse drops back and forth game to Felician. Nick Meyer named to Cassie weekly honor roll. Meyer and Kelleher power offense, but men's lacrosse falls in close match with Wilmington. Spectators to be allowed at post-university athletics events. By the way, are you interested in talking about sports? For example, what sport do you think is the most dangerous? Tell me about sports. This is recent news. Charges dropped against man who spit on 83-year-old Korean-American woman. Republicans join Senate Dems in restoring Obama climate rule. COVID-19 in India, cases, deaths, and oxygen supply. COVID apparently an issue for Biden joint session, Rubio recalls packed chamber for impeachment. An alligator in a suburban Lexington neighborhood? Well, no, but it's a cousin. Trump says Liz Cheney is a warmongering fool who would embarrass her family by running for president. House call, gifts to obsess over. What is new in art? This is recent news. Oscars 2021, director Chloe Zhao wins for Nomadland. British Oscar winners celebrate with parties and sausage rolls. Behind Tenet's award-winning visual effects. Oscars 2021, the railway station now a hosting venue. Saving the kelp forest that stars in My Octopus Teacher. Iceland volcano eruption, music video and wedding filmed at Fagradalísfjall. Oscars 2021, the real-life nomads of Nomadland. Rob Mselhany, Wrexham reminded me of Philadelphia. Azamr, why is it being used more in the music industry? By the way, are you interested in talking about art? For example, what age is best to start training in martial arts? Tell me more about art. Do you think that news agencies sometimes tell lies? Break. I'm listening. Tell me about art. This is recent news. Opening bell, US futures, Europe stocks dip as market questions Fed support. Opening bell, despite solid earnings, futures, global stocks pause ahead of Fed. What is new in the economy? This is recent news. Land O'Lakes CEO Beth Ford, from the cornfield to the C-suite. Goldman Sachs slants research to help Democrats, top White House advisor says. China says it will never use its currency as a weapon in the trade war. The next big test for Elon Musk arrives this week. CEOs are cashing in on the market boom. General Electric is in a sharp decline. Minimum wage since 1938. Why investors aren't freaking out about inflation. Countries with higher wages than the US. By the way, are you interested in talking about the economy? For example, is THS job crisis over? Tell me about the economy. This is recent news. Uber Q1 earnings preview, rides returning fast as economy reopens. Fed strengthens view of economy while keeping rates near zero. Foreign investors bet on economy rebound as they look beyond India's COVID-19 crisis. US economy's unexpected strength benefits Berkshire, Warren Buffett. Berkshire AGM, Buffett, Munger Gere at SPOX, Robinhood, Quants. Berkshire annual meeting to showcase Munger as he rejoins Buffett. Ambani Sril flags economic pain as virus devastates India. What is new in science? This is recent news. Why the platypus sweats milk and is so weird. Survey gauges Australian optimism amid pandemic. Ancient rocks may determine earthquakes in Australia. Fossils reveal Australia and S 600-pound kangaroo, 20-foot lizard. Most Aussies approve of government COVID-19 response. Focus on and, umbrella and, species could save more Aussie animals. Can easier access to e-cigarettes boost health? Local knowledge says these raptors hunt with fire. And, genetic rescue and, brings cute marsupials back from the brink. By the way, are you interested in talking about science? For example, in 1971, which USA space probe was first to orbit another planet? Tell me about science. This is recent news. Headspace's Eve Lewis Preto on the science of sleep and why needing 8 hours is a bit of a myth. The 190 snack you should never eat again, says science. The #1 cause of dementia, according to science. Can science offer us immortality? Should it? Can science offer us immortality? Should it? My most favorite math proof ever. Women's tennis season comes to an end in Cassie tournament loss to US Sciences. What is new in health? This is recent news. Recommendations for delivering oral health advice, a qualitative supplementary analysis of dental teams, parents, and children's experiences. Human dental pulp stem cell responses to different dental pulp capping materials. Bisphenol A as degradation product of monomers used in resin-based dental materials. The early loading of different surface-modified implants, a randomized clinical trial. Although the computer-aided implant placement technique has statistically significant better outcomes than partially guided and free-handed implant placement, the observed clinical outcome measures are similar and insignificant. Oral and maxillofacial surgery journals' presence on social media, an adaptation to enhance publication readership and interdisciplinary collaboration. Tooth preparation, digital design, and milling process considerations for CAD/CAM crowns, understanding the transition from analog to digital workflow. Clinical evaluation of monolithic zirconia multi-unit posterior fixed dental prostheses. Accuracy of intraoral scans, an in vivo study of different scanning devices. By the way, are you interested in talking about health? For example, what is the influence of smoking on health? Tell me about health. This is recent news. Warren Buffett poised to weigh in on GameStop frenzy, Biden era, succession, COVID hit markets. China shares settle higher, led by healthcare stocks. Somali president in poll U-turn to stop Mogadishu clashes. Manchin is very uncomfortable with the Biden agenda's price tag. Charlotte health providers resume using Johnson & Johnson vaccine amid hesitancy concerns. USA's major rollback in Iran sanctions to revive nuke deal. Time to bet on these three sports betting stocks, say analysts. What is new in politics? This is recent news. Harris and Pelosi make history as the first women to lead Senate and House during presidential address to Congress. Scoring Biden's performance on 4 key campaign promises in first 100 days. Republicans won't provide official Spanish response to president's address. First Lattice virtual joint address guests spotlight Biden administration priorities. Biden will invite the top 4 congressional leaders to the White House for May 12 meeting. 5 takeaways from President Biden's first address to Congress. White House ready to grind through next pandemic steps. Every 1% from here on out will represent incredible progress. US investigating possible mysterious directed energy attack near White House. Rudy Giuliani expected to wage court fight over files seized in federal raid. By the way, are you interested in talking about politics? For example, what type of political system does your country have? Tell me about politics. This is recent news. Politics latest news, Boris Johnson to be ultimate arbiter of investigation into himself. After Paris attacks, CIA head reignites surveillance debate. Firm in data scandal made election boasts. 100 days of quietude. How Biden's placid presence belies a disruptive agenda. 100 days of quietude. How Biden's placid presence belies a disruptive agenda. Your politics may shape your morality. In with the newish, prediction predicament, bullpen life. What is new with Wall Street? This is recent news. 40 rules you didn't and hashtag 39, Tino and hashtag 39, America and hashtag 39, S Got Talent and hashtag 39, contestants have to follow. 12 things you won't be able to do on cruises anymore. 25 things you should never buy and what to buy instead. Harris and Pelosi make history at Biden's joint address to Congress. West Virginia governor signs anti-trans sports bill into law. EU expands on and #39, coordinated approach and #39, to reopening to Americans. Nestle and #233, Dozen and #39, T have valid rights to water it and #39, Aspen bottling, California officials say. We need to talk about migraine stigma. What happens to your body when you cut red meat from your diet? By the way, are you interested in talking about the news? For example, what kind of news stories interest you the most? Tell me about Wall Street. This is recent news. As small cap stocks lag, Wall Street worries about broad slowdown. Tesla lifts Wall Street as big tech earnings set to roll in. Wall Street week ahead, blowout US earnings suggest market has room to run. Warren Buffett's snub risks alienating Wall Street. Fed's bond buying doesn't appear to be creating imbalances in financial sector, New York Fed's Williams. Wall Street week ahead, investors eye inflation, seasonally weaker market stretch as tech stocks wobble. Flipping fortunes, SOI leads AGS to super week as Wall Street hit by fear. What is new in trade? This is recent news. Ukraine cement production. Trinidad and Tobago cement production. Thailand cement production. Taiwan cement production. Spain cement production. South Korea cement production. Russia cement production. Poland. What is new with opinion? This is recent news. Bradley Beal opens up about the Wizards, Russell Westbrook, and social justice. Washington star guard spoke to teens from My Brother's Keeper Alliance. Morehouse leaves debate tournament following anti-black mockery. The team's decision led to other programs following suit, including Spelman College. The Undefeated on ESPN Plus presents a Black History Always special. We are all Jackie Robinson's courage and strength still lives among those challenged to prove their value today. Broadway needs big structural change. The producers behind the Theater Leadership Project are hoping to deliver it. Who was Susan B. Anthony? Records show that Susan B. Anthony was from Adams, Ma, United States, North America, and was born in 1820 and worked in social activist in activism. More about Susan B. Anthony. In the 1800s, women in the United States had few legal rights and did not have the right to vote. This speech was given by Susan B. Anthony after her arrest for casting an illegal vote in the presidential election of 1872. She was tried and then fined $100 but refused to pay. What did Susan say? Friends and fellow citizens, I stand before you tonight under indictment for the alleged crime of having voted at the last presidential election, without having a lawful right to vote. It shall be my work this evening to prove to you that in thus voting, I not only committed no crime, but, instead, simply exercised my citizens' rights, guaranteed to me and all United States citizens by the national Constitution, beyond the power of any state to deny. The preamble of the federal Constitution says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." It was we, the people, not we, the white male citizens, nor yet we, the male citizens, but we, the whole people, who formed the Union. And we formed it, not to give the blessings of liberty, but to secure them, not to the half of ourselves and the half of our posterity, but to the whole people, women as well as men. And it is a downright mockery to talk to women of their enjoyment of the blessings of liberty while they are denied the use of the only means of securing them provided by this democratic Republican government, the ballot. For any state to make sex a qualification that must ever result in the disfranchisement of one entire half of the people, is to pass a bill of ad inter, or, an ex post facto law, and is therefore a violation of the supreme law of the land. By it the blessings of liberty are forever withheld from women and their female posterity. To them this government has no just powers derived from the consent of the governed. To them this government is not a democracy. It is not a republic. It is an odious aristocracy, a hateful oligarchy of sex, the most hateful aristocracy ever established on the face of the globe, an oligarchy of wealth, where the rich govern the poor. An oligarchy of learning, where the educated govern the ignorant, or even an oligarchy of race, where the Saxon rules the African, might be endured, but this oligarchy of sex, which makes father, brothers, husband, sons, the oligarchs over the mother and sisters, the wife, and daughters, of every household, which ordains all men sovereigns, all women subjects, carries dissension, discord, and rebellion into every home of the nation. Webster, Worcester, and Bouvier all define a citizen to be a person in the United States, entitled to vote and hold office. The only question left to be settled now is, are women persons, and I hardly believe any of our opponents will have the hardihood to say they are not. Being persons, then, women are citizens, and no state has a right to make any law, or to enforce any old law, that shall abridge their privileges or immunities. Hence, every discrimination against women in the constitutions and laws of the several states is today null and void, precisely as is every one against Negroes. Susan B. Anthony, 1873. Tell me about NASDAQ. This is recent news. Dow, NASDAQ weighed down by Microsoft, Amgen, all eyes on Fed. Psychedelic drug maker Mind stumbles in NASDAQ debut, CEO says still very early innings. Facebook fuels SP 500 to record high close. SP 500 near record high on Facebook boost, Nasdaq eases. SP 500 falls, still on track for third straight month of gains. Dow ends at record high, Nasdaq falls as tech slides. Nasdaq plunges more than 2% as investors dump growth stocks. What did Kennedy say? There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind. Who was the 35th president? The president was named John Fitzgerald Kennedy, who lived between the years of May 29, 1917, and November 22, 1963, and served as U.S. President between the years of January 20, 1961 and November 22, 1963. JFK said, "There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard, because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win, and the others, too." What is new in technology? This is recent news. Flow battery for green energy doubles max voltage. Enzyme speeds how ocean locks away carbon. Better light detector can see more colors. Injection sends and genetic cargo and to neurons all over the body. Ultra-thin camera design does and need a lens. Copper gets us closer to using CO2 pollution as fuel. These neurons let us wake up in the middle of the night. How a and stuck and genetic switch makes leukemia worse. Faster tumor test would cut repeat surgeries. By the way, are you interested in talking about technology? For example, how many times a day do you access your email? New subject. What would you like to talk about? Education. Where did you go to elementary school? That was a long time ago. Where did you go to junior high school? Pause. I'm listening. What is new in higher ed? This is recent news. Why the platypus sweats milk and is so weird. Survey gauges Australian optimism. What is biology? Biology is the natural science that studies life and living organisms, including their physical structure, chemical processes, molecular interactions, physiological mechanisms, development, and evolution. As a study of life, the word biology is derived from the Greek words bios meaning life and logos meaning study. In general, biologists study the structure, function, growth, origin, evolution, and distribution of living organisms. Biology is important because it helps us understand how living things work and how they function and interact on multiple levels, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica. Advances in biology have helped scientists do things such as develop better medicines and treatments for diseases, understand how a changing environment might affect plants and animals, produce enough food for a growing human population, and predict how eating new food or sticking to an exercise regimen might affect our bodies. Despite the complexity of the science, certain unifying concepts consolidate it into a single, coherent field. 4 principles unify modern biology, according to the book Managing Science published by Springer, New York, 2010. 1 is cell theory is the principle that all living things are made of fundamental units called cells, and all cells come from pre-existing cells. The second is gene theory is the principle that all living things have DNA, molecules that code the structures and functions of cells and get passed to offspring. The third is homeostasis is the principle that all living things maintain a state of balance that enables organisms to survive in their environment. When was World War II? In year 1941. Japanese warplanes attack U.S. fleet at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, leading to U.S. joining World War II against the Axis powers. In year 1945. World War II, U.S. declares its neutrality in European conflict, September 5, 1939. F. Roosevelt's third inauguration, January 20, 1941. He is the first and only president elected to a third term. Japan attacks Hawaii, Guam, and the Philippines, December 7, 1941. U.S. declares war on Japan, December 8. Germany and Italy declare war on the United States. U.S. reciprocates by declaring war on both countries, December 11. Allies invade North Africa, October. December 1942, and Italy, September. December 1943. Allies invade France on D-Day, June 6. What did Franklin Delano Roosevelt say? FDR said, "I am certain that my fellow Americans expect that on my induction into the presidency I will address them with a candor and a decision which the present situation of our nation impels. This is preeminently the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive, and will prosper. So, first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance. In every dark hour of our national life, a leadership of frankness and vigor has met with that understanding and support of the people themselves which is essential to victory. I am convinced that you will again give that support to leadership in these critical days. You just never know. I am called Hal. Are you rude? No, I am not. I simply have a spell cast on me to be a computer brain for the time being. By the way, consider this. What is something that isn't considered rude but should be? What do you do? What do I do? Well, you can start by asking me if I am helpful. Are you helpful? Yes, I am. To serve you well, my resources include the daily aggregation of thousands of news wires from about the world. These include breaking news, sports, financial, lifestyle, and you name it. Additionally, you got a lot of horoscope. All of these areas are made easily and directly accessible to you through the top navigation bar. You will save a lot of time here in getting just the facts. To further serve you better, there is the world of Ask Hal where you can share a lot of dialogue with me. And for the community, there are endless well-monitored chat rooms, so do check them out. But if you run out of things to do here, then just come back and talk with me. Tell me about Joe Biden. This is recent news. United States standing in world higher under Joe Biden than Donald Trump, poll shows. Joe Biden made these promises for his first 100 days as president. Hey, race where he stands. Far better than I expected, Guardian readers on Joe Biden's first 100 days. Do you feel? Do I feel? What do you believe? What do I believe? How can point of view create conflict and change? New subject. What would you like to talk about? Life. What do you feel most people's lives are driven by? Desire. What image or metaphor has best described your life? A race, a circus, or something else? Pause. I'm listening. Explain desire. Desire could mean, of desire, to long for, to wish for earnestly, to covet. To express a wish for, to entreat, to request. Are there any other definitions you like? You have been successfully logged out. See you later.